My mind is playing tricks on me.
My name is Cooksey. I am a 43-year-old former, you could say professional. I didn't make much money racing dirt bikes, but I had a really good time. I held my AMA Pro license. But throughout that career and my riding as a hobby, I have sustained more concussions than I can count. And when I started seeing on TV all the symptoms for CTE from the NFL football players, I couldn't help but notice the similarities in a lot of my symptoms that have started over the it started about the past 10 years. It kind of crept up on me, so I didn't really feel, it's not like one day I woke up and went, oh my God, I'm depressed. It really has crept into my life. My wife has noticed it. And it's strange because my life's going really, really good right now. I have an amazing job. I get to ride whenever I want with no pressure. I have 2 amazing kids. And while life's not perfect, damn, it's pretty good. I honestly don't have any major issues. The problem is I don't feel joy. I don't feel joy like I used to. And it's sad because, yeah, I mean, when everything's good and you can't feel joy, and I'm not saying that I don't feel joy, I just don't feel it like I used to. And I find myself faking joy because I know it's a joyful situation and everybody around me is happy and I want to be happy. It's just like it doesn't turn on. I want to fix that. I want to feel again. I want to feel happy. I don't mind. I can't help but notice a lot of my other friends around this age are experiencing a lot of the similar characteristics. The one thing we all have in common is we all race dirt bikes. We all have those crazy personalities, those extreme personalities. Those of you that ride know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, we are probably a little bit more susceptible to addictive behaviors and impulse control and a lot of the same things that are symptoms of, traumatic brain injuries. But I also can't help but notice we've all had traumatic brain injuries. In my day, I remember my brother and I talking and going, oh dude, if you're gonna crash, it's better to get knocked out than it is to have a broken arm, because you can race the next week if you've been knocked out. We didn't know any better. That's what we thought, that's what our doctors thought. If you didn't puke, if you didn't throw up, if you didn't bleed out your ear, you were fine. Suck it up. If you had a broken arm, they x-rayed it, broke it, you healed, you took your time off. But with a brain injury, we raced the next week. I rode 3 days after getting knocked unconscious and not having a memory for 12 hours. For 12 hours, I was on repeat asking what the hell happened. I had this happen again and raced in Idaho. I won the Idaho State Championship in 1990. 1 week after knocking myself silly over the finish line and not even knowing I was in a race, the next weekend I won the race. We didn't take head injuries seriously, not because we were irresponsible, we just didn't know. It wasn't aware. Nowadays, things are different. We are taking those a lot seriouser. There are concussion protocols that are in most sports. We're working on motocross, we're getting better. Helmet manufacturers are getting better. The new directional protective helmets address this problem, and there's an awareness that we didn't used to have. That's awesome. I hope this only helps to increase that. I'm not doing this to say we shouldn't ride dirt bikes, because I'm not going to stop riding dirt bikes, because that's one of the few things that still gives me joy. Not as much as I used to, but I think with this treatment, hopefully I can get back to that and reestablish the connections in my brain that have been, and I think the impacts have damaged some of the pathways in my brain that give me pleasure. And I'm really, really crossing my fingers that this treatment will reconnect those.
My mind is playing tricks on me. My mind is playing tricks on me.
So this treatment, the process starts with the mapping on the first day, where we go in using the computer technology, we find the coordinates and dosing of the brain. And the way we start that is there's a motor strip in the back of the brain where we elicit this electromagnetic impulse. When we find the right intensity of that, you'll see a twitch in your right hand, and that's what we're looking for. When we find that twitch, we know generally where we are. Then we refine the coordinate by isolating to the thumb. Once we've isolated to the thumb, we let the computer algorithm refine the dose for us, and then we have your coordinates and your dosing. We just move forward to the treatment position, which is in the prefrontal cortex on the left side. Once we have that all set up, then we'll actually do a test treatment for you, and we'll notice whether there's any residual shaking or twitching in your hand. There shouldn't be any because we'll be far away from the motor strip. We'll ask you if you can tolerate this, because it is going to be a little uncomfortable at first. It's described as a little bit of a woodpecker sensation tapping on your head. As long as you can tolerate it and you're not sensing any discomfort such as electric zapping sensations or anything like that, then we get started with treatment. Treatment is a 4-second rapid impulse followed by a 10 to 11 second break. That is cycled for about 18 minutes, and then we do this for 30 sessions, about 5 days a week for 6 weeks. At the end of that, we'll do a taper, 3 sessions a week, 2 sessions a week, 1 session a week. And the idea there is so that you don't have an abrupt withdrawal type feeling. Now, patients generally start to notice improvement as early as about a week, but if you haven't noticed any improvement by the halfway point at about 3 weeks, what we'll do is go back in and remap so that we can perhaps see if the coordinates and dosing change a little bit over time and refine that a little bit better. If you have any problems in between sessions, such as headaches that aren't really going away with ibuprofen, which we really don't see much, any sleep disturbance, or irritation at the scalp, those are the big side effects, let us know. If it's not resolved, then we'll have to address that and perhaps remap as well. Other than that, if you're not noticing any improvement at 3 weeks, we remap and you're still not noticing improvement, then unfortunately you might be in that small minority that this treatment is just not effective for. FDA numbers show about 60% full remission rate and about 70% at least showing some improvement. Neurostar's data claims since they've done the FDA trials 10 years ago that they have better results than that.